Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Welcome to Oh, right. I'm Ken.
Hannah.
Right, and so welcome to another episode of the Wisdom Save podcast. We are your lovely and intrepid hosts, and we've got a bit of a interesting topic. My second topic in this little cycle
Mm-hmm.
of things. I'm gonna do something a little bit differently today.
Okay.
It's gonna be a little bit. I'm kind of taking a page from your book
All right.
in the sense that we are going to dive into the wonderful and exciting world of Reddit
Oh, well, this sounds great.
for this one. This is, we'll just get right into our
Yeah.
topic. For those of you who either you spend a lot of time on Reddit or you don't know anything about it, or maybe you've just kind of heard about it in passing, there's a really popular maybe isn't the right term. It's definitely very commonly visited, but mostly for what's that German term? Like Schadenfreude or Schadenfreude or something, where you get a physical you get like a physical reaction out of other people's suffering or other people's stupidity or
Oh,
something like
yeah.
that. Yeah, it's something like that. Reddit has a lot of subreddits or small forums like that, where it's the whole thing is dedicated to listening to other people's stories of how they're being really stupid
Uh-huh.
and then kind of laughing at them or just being like, "Oh, buddy." So that
Sorry.
that's
I'm
okay.
trying to turn my sound off and it made it louder.
TikTok is playing.
Oh,
TikTok is a guest star for this episode.
God, sorry. Okay.
Um, but yeah, so there's a particular subreddit that I have been spending a probably unhealthy amount of time on
Okay.
recently. Are you familiar with r/AITA, also known as r/Am I the Asshole?
Oh, yep.
Yep. So this is for those of you who are uninitiated about this, this is a subreddit where people go on. Usually they have some sort of dispute in their life or some sort of conflict has come up. And so they go on, usually anonymously. They tell the story about their conflict, tell their side of the story, and try to explain the other person's side of the story, and then end with the question, am I the asshole?
And let people weigh in.
And let people weigh in on whether or not they're the asshole or not.
Lots of the time they are, but sometimes they aren't.
Yeah, sometimes it's it seems like maybe they would be, but then you get the whole story. And sometimes it's kind of up in the air, and then someone's like, oh well, explain this more, and then they comment and they're like, oh well, yeah, actually this person traumatized me a lot growing up, and here's all the fucked up shit they did. So am I kind of a dick for not waving to them at the bus stop every morning? And it's oh fuck, okay, yeah, that's
No.
not, you should leave. Things like that happen a lot. So I've been reading a lot of the more recent ones.
Mm-hmm.
We might have some time to go into some of the ones that I've popped up and read through recently, but I was able to find a website which compiles a small selection of what is described as the some of the greatest "Am I the Asshole" posts of all time.
Jeez.
These aren't super extreme.
Uh-huh.
These kind of tend usually there's an obvious okay, this person's kind of a dick,
Uh-huh.
but they're not the extreme am I the asshole? I ran over my friend's cat, and then when he told me that I had to pay for the veterinary bills, I told him to eat shit and then threw a rock at his head. It's not like that. But it's definitely something where these are basically the most interacted with or most responded to threads from the subreddit's history. So I figured we have a fun little game. We'll read through them, and then you tell me whether or not you think the person who is involved with this is the asshole or not. I'll weigh in as well. If we agree, we'll talk about that a little bit. If we disagree,
I'll tell you why you're wrong.
I expect to hear a decent amount of that. I feel like we'll probably be on the same page most of the time.
Probably.
But you never know. And then after that, if we have a little bit of extra time, I'll dig up some of the more really straightforward ones that are kind of fucked up that I've read recently. But so here, this one, according to the website I found, we're going to start with a strong one. this one is supposedly like the single most interacted with post on this subreddit ever.
Okay.
Like this is the one that like the subreddit like broke in half. Like everyone was like divided.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's what this website says. But anyway, and there's an update to this too, so we can read the update as well.
Awesome.
Okay, so first thread. This was posted by user/girlfriend restaurant,
Okay.
which usually their anonymous name has something to do with the topic.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for very rarely/almost never wanting to go to restaurants because my girlfriend makes food that's just as good, if not better, than restaurant food?
Okay.
So he starts. He. I've been with my wonderful girlfriend for a few years now, and we usually get along great, aside from this current issue. She's a self-proclaimed foodie, which I honestly think is just selling herself short. She's a food genius. She can taste and smell a dish and then turn it around and recreate it, or even make it better than the original. If you taste something and wonder, what's that super subtle flavor? She'll tell you. It's anchovy paste / sumac / lavender, some other obscure spice you've never heard of. When someone is cooking and they go, it's missing something, she will tell you exactly what it needs. It doesn't stop there. She knew I had touched a diesel truck at work one morning as soon as I walked into the house that night because she could smell it on me. It's either really cool or really creepy, depending on the day. That's not it either. She heard about a lost family recipe, and the next week, bam, I'm eating my grandmother's homemade sausage again for the first time in 15 years. It's gotten to the point where I don't see any point in going out to eat, pretty much ever, except maybe her birthday. Even the most exotic ingredients aren't out of her reach either, and even though it's not about cost, I've saved up more being with her than I ever had in any other relationship. The only places we really go for date night is ramen. She can't figure out how to make the noodles, but she still tries, so it's just a matter of time. And then also sushi. Our anniversary was recently, and I had noticed that our local fish counter was selling sushi grade fish, along with the rolling mats and nori. So I suggested that we have homemade sushi for our anniversary dinner before going out, and she got upset and said, I'm not learning how to make sushi because then I'll never get a real date ever again. We ended up going out instead. It kind of took me by surprise that she got so mad, though. She's lightly mentioned wanting to go out occasionally to places like Olive Garden because she likes the red sauce, or other places because she likes the food. And now that I'm thinking about it, she's gotten kind of gloomy because I've asked her to cook on date nights instead of going out more often. She's also brought up that food she cooks tastes better to me because she's tasting and smelling it while it cooks, so her senses are dulled by the time it's served. But she has the most acute sense of smell or taste I've ever seen, so I kind of think it's just an excuse. I just don't think it's worth it to go out and pay restaurant food prices when we could stay home for home food prices and have food that's just as excellent. TLDR, so Reddit. Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay a restaurant to cook my meals because I practically have a private chef of my very own?
Yes, you are the asshole.
I'm so on board with this. Like at the first, I'm just like, he spent like so long just like being like, oh, she's a wizard. She's magnifique, a genius in the kitchen, like an absolute like. And
Only
then he's just
to
like,
end it with, but I basically have my own personal chef.
like basically I have my private chef. Like, oh, this relationship's so much better because like I get to save money because I don't have to take her out to stupid food. She can just like be my kitchen slave and like do what I want. And it's like, but what the fuck, dude?
That's literally the thing. It's not the fact that she's good at making food. You can enjoy the food she makes, and she's probably happy to make it for you sometimes. But, like, on special occasions, or if, like, you haven't gone on a date in a while, maybe fucking take her out so she doesn't have to slave away on your date night, you idiot.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's a date night. The audacity of this man to be like, it's a date night, but I want her to stay home and make a big fancy meal for us because I don't want to spend money on our date night. And also, it's date night, so I deserve a fancy meal and she should make it. Like, he's not even paying attention to that shit. He doesn't care. He's just like, ugh, it's more economic for you to do all the work.
Yeah.
It's date night, but I don't care that it's also your date night.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Like,
fuck that.
I don't want to take you out because it's cheaper and to me it's better. And also the fact that I don't think you are enjoying the food as much is just an excuse. It's like,
Right, like, what the
no!
fuck
What
was
the
that?
fuck is that shit? That's a bunch of gaslighting garbage. Like, if she's telling you that, like, literally, when you're sitting there making food and you're eating it as you go, not only are you pretty much filling up because you're eating little pieces of it to make sure it's right. By the time you're there to eat it, you've already ate so much of it, you really aren't that fucking jazzed about it.
Yeah. Plus, also, like, I mean, it's kind of the same principle as, like, I like pizza. I go to the same pizza restaurant. One week, I go to the same pizza restaurant and get the same pizza every day. By the seventh day, I'm kind of fucking sick of that pizza. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, but, like, I'm kind of fucking sick of my own food. When you make a recipe enough, you kind of make it the same way every time.
Well,
And so it's like,
also,
I'm tired of this. I want to go eat Olive Garden breadsticks. Like,
food doesn't taste as good when you're the one making it.
see, I kind of personally disagree. When I'm the one making food, I really like the taste of it more,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's because I don't cook super often. So when I make it, it's almost like a sense of pride.
Well, I guess, but also, like,
When you're a gourmet chef, I'm sure it feels like work.
well, it does, like, even if you're just cooking all the time, you get sick of your own fucking food.
Sure, that makes
Like,
sense.
when, like, when I worked at Subway,
Mm,
I could make my own sandwich a million times and it tastes good.
sure.
But like if I go in there and have someone else make my sandwich, which I've done a bunch of times, I'd go to a different Subway. I'd
Mm,
have them make the exact same thing out of the exact same stuff. The only difference is that somebody else made it
right.
and it tastes so much better.
Yeah. It's
And
because they like
it's because I
everybody.
didn't have to make it.
Yeah, everybody does things a different way too, and like not only that, but like also it's like you didn't have to like expend energy to do the thing.
And it's
That's
literally
why fast food. That's why people like fast food.
I paid for it both times. The there wasn't like a, oh well, it probably tasted better or like it might have tasted worse because it was like free or something like that. It's like no, I paid for it both times. They were the
Uh,
exact same size. I had the exact same sides because I'm a plain ass bitch.
you
It is the same thing.
love what you love.
I like what I like, and it tastes better when I don't have to make it myself for the millionth fucking time.
Hmm.
Like, and also if it's your goddamn date night or your fucking anniversary or her birthday, drop the shit and take her out, god damn it.
Oh, sing it, girl. I knew this was going to be a good one. Okay. So I find in general that a lot of people on the subreddit agreed that he was the asshole.
Hmm.
There are a good number of people who were like, nah, like that's fine. Like she's just a really good chef. Like she just needs to understand that. And
I'm
it's
sure
like,
she understands.
but basically, people were like digging for more info. They were desperate. They were this kept blowing up.
Hmm.
People were like, we want to know like what else is going on. Like what's like
Hmm.
how is things going on. So he added in 4 edits
Okay.
over the course of time.
Jeez, alright.
Edit number 1. Guys, it's not about the financial aspect of staying home versus going out. I just thought it was worth mentioning because it's been more of a saving than expected.
Hmm.
So he's kind of like, people are being like, dude, really? Like, this is all about the money for you? Like, what about
Hmm.
her feelings? He's like, I was just mentioning it. So it's like,
Okay, well then
okay.
also, then disregarding that, what about her fucking feelings if it's not about money? Maybe consider her feelings then.
Right. Then I guess she, like, sort of caught wind of this post.
Because it blew up, I'm sure.
Probably a lot, yeah. Edit number 2. I'm taking her out tonight to grovel, guys. I'm also going to politely ask that if she finds this off of Twitter or something, please don't smother me in my sleep for being such a dick.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
see that you've noticed you're the asshole.
I see we've answered the question. Edit number 3. No, Twitter. I don't buy her flowers. Thanks for rubbing it in. I buy her herbs and succulents. What flowers do I buy a woman who likes to preserve them afterwards? Also, yes, I wash the dishes. Like he's like, well, I do chores.
Okay, cool. Also, who cares? Buy her You can preserve flowers, you idiot. You can dry flowers.
Right. I know. I don't know
I
what the
just buy
fuck.
her herbs and succulents because succulents don't die, and also herbs she can cook for me with. Like fuck
Right,
you!
right,
Buy
right.
her a fucking flower.
And then we have the final edit, which is basically another post in its own. This
Okay.
is spicy. I read this
Okay.
one ahead of time. This is good. Okay, guys, this will probably be my last edit. This post exploded unexpectedly, and I've tried to respond to as many comments as I can, but there's just too many of you. If you've asked me a direct question and I haven't answered, I'm sorry. My inbox is a mess. I really took everything you guys have said to heart, and I can honestly say that I've been an ass. And it's really hurt my relationship with my girlfriend. It's honestly a surprise that she's still my girlfriend after everything.
Mm-hmm.
So her mom picked up the girls, and I took her out to a really nice tapas restaurant. They have kids together.
Oh my god.
This is when it's like, oh my god, she's your personal kitchen slave and you have kids together? Fuck. So her mom picked up the girls and I took her out to a really nice tapas restaurant. She was very excited and seemed to enjoy herself, and I apologized for being so stupid. After, we took a walk and everything seemed perfect. So I asked her to marry me.
What?
Oh, this is when it gets good. She said no. She did it kindly, but she still said no. She said that it wasn't a no forever, but she didn't want to commit to a one-sided relationship, and also says she doesn't think it's fair that our relationship happens on my schedule or my terms. I'm pretty heartbroken. I thought everything was pretty okay between us, but she still thinks we should go to premarital, pre-engagement counseling, and the division of labor needs to change over a serious sit-down conversation. So Reddit, you were all right. I'm the asshole who almost lost the love of my life, and most of you were right. It wasn't over restaurants. So at least you saw the error of his ways, but like, bro,
Oh my.
you take her out to one restaurant and you're like, that's it. I checked the box, so now she's gonna be my wife. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Yeah. This was a huge one. I think it got this one got it's not a super like it's a popular subreddit, but it's not like a super popular one. This one got up like there first of all there's 3,000 comments, and it got upvoted 20 or it got boosted like 24,000 times.
She is the mother of your children.
There are multiple children.
Children.
Yeah, children.
And you want to take her out and you haven't married her yet.
Right.
God knows how long you've been together.
Right.
You want to bring her out to one restaurant a year, and then you realize you're a fuckface, so you bring her out to one restaurant, and then ask her to marry you. Of course she's gonna fucking say no! Oh my god. Fucking goddamn. That's like this story that I saw it on TikTok, so it's really fast. But there's this one guy who'd been in a relationship with a woman, and she was the mother of his children. They'd been dating for 6 or 7 years. Or no, it was 10. It was 10 years. And so for Christmas, he went in and bought her a promise ring. And they were like, maybe you should consider an engagement ring. And he's like, we're not ready to take that step yet.
Oh my fucking god.
And they're like, okay. So they wrapped up the ring he wanted, and he brought it in. And then the next hour, he was back and would turn the ring. So she was like, oh, did she love it? And they're like, actually, she broke up with me and took the children away.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Why are guys so fucking stupid?
I have a strange feeling that this entire episode is just going to be, why are men? Which is just our life, really.
I know, this is the first story, and I'm already swearing up and down. By the end of the story, I'm just going to be going, fuck.
Yeah. This is an R-rated podcast, ladies.
Mm-hmm. Not for children. We mark it on the YouTube.
Oh my god.
What?
There's an update.
There's an update?
I didn't read this one.
Oh my god.
Hold on. Okay, yeah, this is probably gold. Alright, here we go. A few months ago, I posted this post. He links to the previous post, asking if I was an asshole for not wanting to take my girlfriend out to restaurants. It blew up. It ended up on Twitter. People shared it on Facebook. The general consensus was, yes, that I am an asshole. And it just went downhill from there. A couple people told me to kill myself, so thanks for that. That's kind of fucked. Don't do that shit. More than a couple people told me that they hoped my girlfriend broke up with me. Well.
Did she?
After I posted and proposed and was rejected, things got pretty awkward between us for the first time in 5 years. They've been together 5 years.
Okay.
She started to get snappy at me easily. She stopped being as affectionate with me. She started making pretty much nothing but casserole Everything changed. To clarify, she usually liked to make more involved food than casserole.
Mm-hmm.
Then one day, like 3 weeks ago, she threw down the spoon she was using to serve the 1,000th casserole this month and snapped at me. Do you seriously fucking think I actually like eating at Olive Garden? Guys, she saw the post. She was
Mm.
furious. She doesn't like Olive Garden. She'll eat there because the kids love it and it's cheap. I was right about the red sauce being non acidic, but, well, in her words, she's never developed a taste for pasta. She's Latino. Do I ever see her make pasta? No. A meal isn't complete without rice. It's like you don't know me at all.
Oh my god.
She yelled about Olive Garden for a solid 20 minutes. It wasn't just about Olive Garden, but it was a lot about Olive Garden. Long story short, we've been separated for a few weeks now, and it's not looking good. She loves and respects me, but feels it's best for her to respectfully disengage from me for her own personal betterment. So, yeah, TLDR, I ruined my family by not appreciating my girlfriend. I didn't take her out on dates, and I didn't pay enough attention to her. I would do anything to fix everything, he says.
Well, a little too late.
It's a little too late for that, but holy fuck, I didn't know this existed. Yeah, that's rough, but also like, yeah, it's kind of how that goes, buddy.
When you don't fucking appreciate the things in your life and you take them for granted like that, they usually disappear.
And for good reason. I mean, she wasn't appreciated. She has first of all, she has a super cool talent. She's an excellent chef,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Cool, that's a resource for me."
Cool,
Instead
that's a
of
thing I
cool,
can take advantage of.
yeah. Instead of cool, she's a well-rounded person with skills.
Maybe I should fucking take her on a date every year and again.
Maybe I should appreciate her for the awesome things she brings to the table in our relationship, and maybe put in some effort on my own. But he was like, meh.
And maybe actually learn where she likes to fucking go after
Right.
5 years.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is he's just like, oh, she's just a completely like, oh, fucking, she just wants to go to Olive Garden or something. It's like he didn't really even pay attention to what restaurant she likes. Like, and that's the thing is that like he was like, oh yeah, like sometimes we like go out. She doesn't know how to make the ramen noodles, or like we go to get sushi. And then when he like talked to her about it, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to learn how to make sushi because then we'll never go out to eat. It's like literally that's almost like her saying the only reason we go out to sushi restaurants is because that's the only thing you don't force me to stay home with.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's not even like she even necessarily wanted to go. It's just that's all she's got.
Her exact wording was, if I learn how to make sushi, we'll never go on a decent date again. Mm-hmm. She likes sushi, bitch. I learned more about your fucking wife, not your wife, your fucking girlfriend in one sentence than apparently you have in your entire fucking life. And also, the one thing I really want to point out is that he said she likes Olive Garden, and she says the only reason she liked going to our Olive Garden was because the girls like to go.
Yeah.
So he doesn't take her out very much, and when he does, they usually bring their fucking kids.
Oh my god, yeah, they don't even have their own date night. Like, they don't even get to actually go out on, like, it's always just like, oh, we go there because that's where the girls go. Like, and we're bringing the girl, like, we're not even, like, they don't even have their own alone time. Because as far as he's concerned, and the thing is, like, they're at home. Like, the girls are probably home with them. When she's cooking a meal at home, how much do you want to bet she's also taking care of the kids?
Yeah.
While he sits there and he's just like, when's my food coming out?
It's really good. I can't wait to eat the food that you make because you're my fucking slave.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So basically, on a scale of not the asshole to asshole, huge asshole.
Asshole.
Big, huge asshole. Yeah.
I'm so glad she broke up with him.
Me too. Is that rude to say?
No, I hope she's doing really well, and I hope that he is not.
Yeah, I hope she's fucking fine.
I don't wish harm or death onto him, but I hope he is not happy.
Jesus.
Because she probably hasn't been in a while.
Yeah, hopefully she is now. Yes. If she's out there like listening to our podcast, I hope she's doing great.
I hope her and her girls are going out to sushi restaurants and like
just fucking
enjoying their lives.
Yeah, just fucking living it out. Absolutely. Okay. This next one. This was posted by user Ms. Sasha Fierce.
Okay.
Ms. with 2 Z's, which is kind of dope.
Ms.
Sasha Fierce. Am I the asshole for calling my coworker chunky after she repeatedly calls me slim and makes multiple references to my weight after I asked her not to?
So far, doesn't sound like it, but okay. We'll see.
I have a female coworker who...
Wait, is this boy?
No, this is a woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, she is Ms.
Yes. I have a female coworker who repeatedly calls me out regarding my weight. I'm a woman, 5'9", 115 pounds, and very thin.
Mm-hmm.
She is very overweight. All the time, she makes comments about my weight. She doesn't call me by name. She calls me slim. And I even heard her say one time, "Go ask Toothpick."
What?
And she has said some things to me, like, "You need some meat on your bones," and "Girl, you need to eat." I've only worked there 8 days.
Oh my god!
I've asked her very nicely to stop. Yesterday, I asked her to stop calling me slim again, and she basically said it's her mouth and she can say what she wants with it.
Okay.
Today, when she said, "Morning, Slim," I replied, "Morning, Chunky," and she got upset and started crying. Everyone here at work, there's only 6 of us total, is saying I'm wrong and I should apologize because being called fat is different than being called skinny, because being called skinny is a compliment. I said as long as she calls me slim, I will call her chunky, and now I'm the bad person. Am I the asshole if I don't apologize? The owner/manager has completely ignored the situation, saying it's a high school issue and we should figure it out.
No, she's not the asshole at all.
Okay, interesting.
Coming from a fat person?
Sure.
Absolutely not.
I think I'm inclined to agree with you. I think the situation is like I don't think anybody's like like
Now, how about this?
pristine here.
It's her mouth. She can say what she wants with
That's a
it.
fucking good point, though. That's the thing. I don't think anybody's like crystal clear. Like I'm not the type of person who like I'm not a very eye for an eye person
Mhm.
necessarily.
No, if you don't want to get called names, don't call people names.
You're right.
You call her Toothpick.
I don't think she's an asshole. That's
Oh, absolutely not.
yeah.
Well, no, like she literally like she was saying she calls her slim, and I was like, well, maybe it's not because you're slim. Like some people just call you slim
Yeah,
because
but,
it's
yeah.
But then like adding Toothpick onto it, and like she asked her, could you not call me that? And she's like, well, I'll just say what I want. Well, then fuck you. Take it back.
Yeah.
Like you can just if you can dish it, either take it or don't. Don't
Right.
cry when people call you names because you seem perfectly capable of calling people names. So either fucking stop or get called chunky.
Yeah, that's the thing is that like she did kind of make a point of being like, I'm only gonna say this to you if you keep saying that shitty thing I told you not to say to me.
It's literally not.
It's like I literally will stop calling you that if you stop calling me the thing you called me first.
It's an elementary school issue because it's elementary to fucking fix. Stop calling me stupid names. I'll stop calling you stupid names.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Also, maybe fucking learn my name and then I'll call you by your name.
Yeah.
Like, no, absolutely not. Like, if I did that, like there's plenty of girls I know that are very thin, and sometimes like the thing is being called skinny as a compliment. It's not always a compliment. Some people
No,
really
you're right.
want to gain weight, and there's like it's on both sides. Sometimes people can't lose weight. Sometimes people can't gain it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're gonna run around calling people toothpick, fuck you. You're gonna get what comes to you.
I think that's a good point.
She's not an asshole, and she shouldn't apologize.
That is basically seems to be the majority opinion. I would say like 99% of the people who commented, and it looks like almost 2,000 people commented, and like 99% of them were like, "Nah, you're like,
No.
and a lot of the comments were just like, I mean, like calling someone chunky is an asshole thing to do, but sometimes you need to kind of be a little bit of an asshole. It doesn't make you an asshole because you're responding to a situation, and that's kind of what you were saying.
Especially because she took the high ground to start with. She says, "Could you please stop calling me that?" And she says, "I'll say whatever I want and you can't stop me." And it's like, okay, cool. Well, I will say whatever I want then, and you can't stop me.
They did edit for, she edited for more info too.
Mm-hmm.
She says, we don't have an HR here. There's only 6 of us working here. It's a cupcake shop. We are all regular employees.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the owner before I called her chunky, and I asked him to talk to her because I felt that she was being harassing towards me.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he said we can handle it ourselves. That's why I called her chunky. I told her first to stop calling me slim, and I didn't like it, and she continued to do it. She didn't stop doing it after I asked multiple times, and I didn't know what to do besides what she was doing to me. She brought up my weight, I brought up hers.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, yeah,
Yep.
it's like, yeah, there was nothing.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah, I agree. She's done nothing wrong. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, fuck it.
All right, so far pretty universal on this one.
I love how Ken tried to take the road where he's like, I don't know. And I was just like, oh, fucking no. She's perfect. Like, absolutely. Especially if she asked multiple times to have her stop and she didn't. It's like, you're lucky she's not punching you in the fucking back of the store. Like, get over yourself.
No, absolutely.
You think you can make fun of people? Well, then, get fucked. The end.
So for our next one. No,
I don't know if Ken thought I was going to get this heated.
no, I kind of was hoping that you would, because that's the fun part of this. This next one is posted by user. It's a bunch of letters and then it ends in throw, so it's a throwaway account. They're posting from a throwaway account.
Throw.
Starts with an A, ends with throw. Anyway, am I the asshole for telling a cashier that wasn't the girl's credit card?
Okay.
Throwaway, because my husband told me I was the asshole and wanted to know before I got home and argue with him. On phone, so the format is bad. So this is going to be a little bit scrunched together, the writing.
All right.
I was in a higher-end department store today. Rhymes with looming tales.
Bloomingdale's?
It's Bloomingdale's. She was in Bloomingdale's.
Okay.
I think we're not big enough. We can just fucking say, we already talked about Olive Garden. We can just fucking say whatever we want.
I'm pretty sure they're not public domain, but they're companies. You can just talk about them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, like,
we're not going to get fucking sponsored by Bloomingdale's, so we can say whatever we want about
this. Isn't about Bloomingdale's doing anything wrong anyway, so I feel like they're fine. Anyway, I was in a higher-end department store today. I was in a Bloomingdale's and happened to end up next to two teenage girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a pair of very expensive boots, and they were both fawning over them. The second girl must have looked at the price tag and asked Boots Girl if she's really going to spend that much on the boots. The girl with the boots said something along the lines of, "It's fine, I have my dad's credit card, I'm not paying." Which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card, so I'm interested to see how this girl thinks she's going to get away with fraud, but had to split up from the girls at this point because they hit down something else. We end up at the same register, me behind her, and I see her total hit well over 4 digits.
Ooh.
So she was spending like over $1,000. But he said well over, so we're talking like several $1,000s. The girl is about to swipe her card when I decide I can't let her get away with something like this, and someone has to parent this kid if no one will. I tell the cashier that isn't her card, but her father's, and I'm not sure if she has permission. The girl and her friend turn and glare at me, giving me possibly the dirtiest look I've ever seen. I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she was ever told no. The girl tells the cashier her father gave her the card to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him the points. Now that I've pointed out it wasn't hers, the cashier tells her she can't use the card. The girl tries to show ID to prove that they have the same last name, like that will help, and I tell her it's still fraud. The girl says it's not fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business, that she's doing something illegal. She needs to pay with her own card or I call the cops. I don't know why they brought the cops into this, but
because it's fraud.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. I think it's on the store to do that, though, technically.
If she's an employee at the store, I'm pretty sure she gets to do that.
I know she's not an employee. She was shopping at the store.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay. I thought she was an employee.
No, this person is shopping.
Okay.
She just ended up in line behind them.
Okay.
The cashier is a different person. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why, but I thought she was behind the other cashier.
Oh.
And I thought she was like their manager or something. Okay, so she's just someone else shopping. Okay.
Yes, this is just someone else shopping. The girl is pissed now and people are glaring at me. She uses her own card instead and leaves crying. The cashier looks mad at me, and I tell my husband when I get home only for him to agree I was in the wrong. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
I'd say no. 'Cause, I mean, like, that's the thing is everyone's taken their dad's card and bought something before. Like, me and my sister would take my dad's card and go to Sam's Club and do the grocery shopping for him.
Right, sure.
But that's technically fraud. They don't know if we, I was even nervous taking, I would go in to buy snacks, and if I took your card, I'm like sitting there being like, oh god, they're gonna like notice that I'm not Ken.
I've done it. I've done it with you with your card at
Yeah.
McDonald's before. Like you've been like not feeling good, and you'll give me your card and be like, go to McDonald's and grab this stuff because you just paid bills,
Mm-hmm.
and so then I'll take your card and I'll like run through the line. But like they kind of know you at our local
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's, so like I'm gonna hand a card with your fucking name on it,
Yeah.
and then have them swipe it and me
Well,
just be like, she's not in the car. But like also we go through there all the
they've
time with
seen
both of
us
us in the
together. I
car.
used to work there.
Right,
Like most of the people that work there, I went to high school with.
right,
Like, so they know that you're not stealing my money.
sure.
But
It is a little different. You're right.
the thing is it's really kind of to a point where it's like she sounds like typical rich bitch.
Mm-hmm.
The kid, I mean, like with daddy's card and like I don't know, like and also she said she's charging it onto like their company, so I don't know if it's his company or if she's like putting like thousands and
Well,
thousands of
it
dollars.
wasn't the company. She was using her dad's Bloomingdale's credit card.
Uh-huh.
So if you use the card in the store for your purchases, you get points back and like a rebate, like
Hmm.
cash back for using it in that store.
So like maybe I, like all in all, no, I don't think so. Like you told a rich girl no, and potentially saved her dad thousands.
Mm,
And if anything, she probably just went home and had her dad refund her the money.
sure. Yeah.
So a little bit of frustration here and again, and then that's the end. I don't think she's in the wrong there.
Sure.
Like you tried to save somebody a little bit, and I don't think that's wrong. At the behest of a teenage girl, fuck it, I don't care.
See, I actually don't necessarily agree.
No?
I actually don't think. I don't think. I think that person. I think this person is the asshole in this
Okay.
case. And I think what turned it for me
Mhm.
was near the end of the story
Okay.
when after they're like going back and forth, it's like I can't let you use the card, it's fraud or whatever. She then pulls out her own card
Mhm.
and pays for it.
Yeah.
So she could pay for it.
Right.
So if she could pay for it the whole time, but she has her dad's card, she probably has it for a reason.
I don't know. That
I
kind
mean,
of
she might not, but she might. And at that point, it's like,
well, that's the
is
thing
it
too.
your business?
If she has her own card and she can pay for it, why does she have her dad's card?
I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. It's not my business.
That's the thing though, is it's well, that's the thing that puts it over for me is that it's like, what if she just stole her dad's card and now she's
What if
like,
she
well,
didn't?
eh. Well, that's the
Well,
thing.
but that's the thing is that both of these are literally just It's like, what if she did? Yeah, well, what if she didn't? Well, what if she didn't? Yeah, but what if she did?
Well,
I don't
if
know.
she didn't, I'd prefer that he be able to give the money back to her, no harm, no foul, as
Okay,
opposed to her spending $4,000 on her dad's card without him knowing and not allowing it. And also, it's a fucking federal crime.
I mean, sure, but
I think the one thing that really like makes it where I'd say she might have been an asshole is she threatened personally to call the police. Where it's like, no one's asking you to call the police, lady. Like, point out the problem and let the store handle it. If they still want to let her use the card, fine. If she can't, because and that's the thing. If they have a fucking policy against it and that's not her card, pointing it out is not a problem. Pointing out someone breaking a law,
sure.
that's like somebody stealing an ATM, and I'm like, hey, someone's about to steal your ATM.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that like that's a clear crime though.
Uh huh.
We don't know what the situation with that girl and her dad's card
Yeah.
was. We
Well,
don't know.
at the most, she prevented a crime. At the least, she inconvenienced a rich kid, and I don't care.
Fair enough. Um, I don't. I still don't necessarily agree. I don't. I don't think it was any of
Well,
her
I'm not
business.
necessarily saying I do the same thing either, or that I think she's
Yeah.
it. Like if she does this to like every fucking kid she sees without her dad's credit card, sure.
Well, that's the thing
But
is it feels like it feels super like it feels like big Karen energy to me. Like it feels like she's just like, oh, I saw these teenage girls like whispering to each other in the
mhm.
grocery store, so or in the Bloomingdale, so I followed them around and I heard them talking about their dad's card. So I
Well, see, also,
then
I really don't give a fuck about this situation anyway, because
sure,
it's a Karen versus a rich little Karen.
sure,
So whatever.
our
At
biases are showing.
But that's what I'm saying. At the most, she inconvenienced, or at the least, she inconvenienced a rich baby,
Mm,
and at the most, she stopped her stealing from her dad.
sure.
So I don't see where there's a lose.
Do you have a guess as to which way you think Reddit tended to pull?
People probably said she was an ass. I don't know.
People probably said she was an ass. Yeah, that seems to be the majority opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The majority opinion, and it looks like there was a reasonable number of people who were like, no, like that could have been a big thing. Kind of the same opinion of you,
Mm-hmm.
where it was just like, I mean, like it could have been not a big deal, but it also could have been, and
Mm-hmm.
like it seems like if she was able to pay for it anyway, then it seems like the family itself is in a financial situation where like they could just exchange money,
Mm-hmm.
and that'd probably be fine. But that is an assumption, and yeah, it seems like in general, um, basically everyone's just like just mind your own business. Like it wasn't any of your business. You shouldn't have like inserted yourself into that. And like the top comment made the point of like if this girl was an adult and not a teenager, and she had said she was using her husband's card, 90% chance you wouldn't have said a thing. And she, I mean, I feel like she probably wouldn't have. If it was just like, oh, like
Well,
I'm,
I mean, if she's nosy enough, she might have.
well, that's true. That's the only thing. You don't know.
But that's like, all I know is that this situation sounds like a bitchy ass rich person problem, and I don't personally care that much. But if I was the one in the situation, I wouldn't be in a Bloomingdale's. But
Right, sure.
if I was the one in the situation, I would just fucking let it go. I'd be like, that's their issue. It's not my family, not my problem. Like, and if I was at the grocery store trying to buy groceries for my dad, I'd really hope somebody wouldn't be, that's her dad's card at me because I can't pay for it.
Right.
But like, I don't know. Sounds like a stupid problem to me.
Fair enough. So the next one, this one's pretty short, but it's also kind of funny.
Okay.
This one is posted by user Remember You to You.
Okay.
And I guess according to what I'm looking at now, it's their birthday today.
Oh,
So
shit.
happy birthday to this user.
Unless you're the asshole.
Well, we'll see. Am I the asshole for suggesting my 7-year-old name his new stuffed tiger Tig Bitties?
No.
Instantly, right? So here's the story. Pretty much the tiger. My son won a stuffed tiger at the fair last night and said he named him Tig. He asked me what its last name should be. I couldn't help myself, and I just instantly replied, Biddies. Then I turned to my wife to share a smirk, but she was pissed and quickly suggested a few different last names, but my son insisted that he loved Biddies. So now his tiger is Tig Biddies. My wife thinks it was completely inappropriate. I think it was a silly joke that went over his head and will have no negative ramifications.
I think that's hilarious. He's not an asshole.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's literally why you should have kids.
Right.
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, also, not just because it's fun, because you want to raise kids, but like, that's gonna be a fucking awesome story for him later on. He's gonna be like, oh man, like, he's gonna pull that thing out of a box and be like, oh, it's Tig Bitties, and you're gonna be like, you remember what, fucking, how I told you to name him Bitties? It's because fucking reverse it's big titties.
Yeah, that's why it's funny. It's funny because it means big titties.
I would not be pissed about that.
No, well, that's the thing. That's us, dude. Like, I would think that was fucking hilarious. You would think that was fucking hilarious. That's the best.
What?
Just hilarious. I want him to bring, like, oh my god, could you imagine that little boy, if he's our kid, brings it to like one of my family gatherings. He's running around. He's like, everybody, look at Tig Bitties, and like if he accidentally fucking switches the letters around because he's like
I'm dyslexic, so maybe he'll.
Yeah, and then he just like starts running around like holding his stuffed tiger at 3, shouting big titties and screaming in the house around a store. Like, absolutely, I live for that.
Yeah,
that's all I want.
Well, not to mention, at that age, he doesn't know what it means, and by
Right.
the time he does know what it means, he's gonna think it's fucking hilarious.
Absolutely.
It's not inappropriate. You didn't name it Big Titties.
Yeah, and like there's like I think there's like.
And also, what's wrong with big titties?
Nothing. Yeah,
kids eat titties.
That's true. They don't like eat them, but I get it. Yeah, there's no way this guy's done nothing wrong.
It's not inappropriate unless you're a prude and you don't want to acknowledge titties.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how this guy could possibly be the asshole. There's like one person in the comments who's just like, well, like, I could understand why you could be the asshole in this situation because, like, like teaching your young impressionable children like sexual humor is like
He
inappropriate.
has
It's
no
like,
idea
and it's
it
like, it's
is.
first of all, it's not sexual humor. It's just like a word that sounds like titties.
Yeah.
Like boobs aren't inherently sexual. First of all,
Right.
second of all, it's like a meme.
Right.
Which, like, I mean, that doesn't matter. Like, there are memes about shitty things, but like those two things combined, it's like the only reason why you think that is a sexual and therefore inappropriate thing for that child is because you are sexualizing the
Mm-hmm.
situation. It's not a sexual
Yeah.
situation. It's literally just the word titties, but spelt differenter.
Yeah.
That's it. That's fine. You guys done nothing wrong.
And also, he's not gonna associate it with fucking titties.
No, of course not.
It's a fucking tiger.
Exactly. Okay. There's one more good one from this. Maybe two? Maybe two.
Okay.
And then we can go over to some of the more current posts on the website. There was actually a third one in here that I really wanted to do because it was fucking intense, but it actually got deleted.
What?
I might tell you about it afterwards, but I don't want to tell
Should
you
have got
about it.
screenshot.
It was like I should have screenshotted it. It's super dumb, but yeah, it looks like it was deleted. This one was posted by user Throwaway Coworker Drama.
Okay. Always the best drama.
It is also their birthday today.
Hey!
I wonder if they're the same person.
Maybe.
Ooh. Anyway.
Is it about titties?
No.
Okay, maybe not then.
This one is, am I the asshole for giving all of my coworkers a different reason for why I'm missing fingers?
No.
We have to read the whole thing first. I have 3 fingers missing on my dominant hand.
Okay.
It's fine. I can type and everything, and even manage to tie my shoelaces most days. And on the days I can't, that's the dyspraxia. However, I won't deny that it looks a bit odd to most people. I only have my 4th and 5th fingers. So my hand looks a bit like a child's drawing of a rabbit, and not a good one. Yeah, just
the pinky and
ring
the
finger
ring.
and pinky, yeah. I'm used to people asking about it, usually after staring for a good minute or two, but I still find it annoying. I really don't get why you'd think it would be an okay thing to ask somebody about, but hey, I wasn't raised in a barn. Usually I nip the questioning in the bud by just explaining the truth from the get-go and assuming that enough people will gossip about it that the message will spread by the end of the day. It always, always does. Anyway, I started a new job about a month ago, and honestly, could not face going through that same cycle again. I felt like the time had come to not play into it anymore and to make something out of it. And I decided to make myself laugh. When the first new coworker asked about it, I completely lied and I told her that I chewed them off as a baby. I then decided to tell the next person who asked that I cut them off with a plastic knife at a picnic.
Mm-hmm.
And the next person that I was born with 6 fingers, but the doctors removed too many. And so on. All genuinely ridiculous reasons, but I'm a good actor and they actually believed my bullshit lies. I didn't expect them to. A plastic knife. Through bone? But there you go. Maybe they just thought there's no way I'd lie about how I lost my fingers. Within about 3 days, I learned that my coworkers had been arguing about the actual reason, and it seems like a lot of them now actively dislike me for lying to them. I'm probably going to have to make some cupcakes over the weekend with my super cool 3D printed adaptive whisks to get back into their good books. Anyway, I told this story to my brother today, and he told me that I was being an asshole because I caused tension within the office on my first day and made people feel stupid for being gullible and believing my lies. My argument is that I'm not the asshole because they were asking a rude, albeit common, question, and because I didn't do it with the intention of deceiving them, I just was honestly fed up of the question and didn't think they'd think I'd actually severed 3 fingers with fucking dental floss when I was 3. I'll accept my judgment though. This person said, update, gonna check out here, I think. Getting real tired of explaining why it's not cool to ask people why they lost limbs or digits just because you want to sate your morbid curiosities. A few reminders for people, and I'm guilty of this. I'm not a man. I don't know why everyone assumed that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask people about something that could be traumatic, especially when you don't actually know them, and when making cupcakes, always cream the butter. So, asshole or no?
No.
Absolutely not. No, first of all, like, what was the fail state for this? Like, what was the harm? Was
Nothing.
that like a bunch of people talked about it and they're like, wait a minute, that's not the information she gave me or they gave me. Sorry, I don't. All we know is that they're not a man. Um, yeah, like that's not the information they gave me. They said this. And first of all, like, if you believe the plastic knife thing, you have other problems.
Mm-hmm.
But second of all, like, it's not any of your fucking business.
Yeah.
If they wanted to lie to you about that, then cool.
It's
It's like it doesn't hurt you at all. You find out later that they were just fucking around.
like literally, it's just not your fucking business. That's literally all it comes down to. And if you're mad at him, or sorry, him, if you're mad at them for lying to you about why their finger is like deformed,
Yeah.
whatever, still, fuck you.
Yeah, like
Don't
it's
ask people why they're like that.
yeah, it's not any of your business. Like, if they want to tell you, they'll tell you. If they don't have to. It's like
That's
it's
like
not your fucking business.
there was a guy at the store that I used to work at,
Mm-hmm.
and he came in and he had a fully robotic hand.
Oh,
A
that's
whole
so
one.
cool.
That's the thing, is I stared at it the first time and I was like, "Oh my god, that's awesome!"
Right.
But I didn't blurt out, "Where's your hand?"
Right, of course.
Because that's fucking rude.
Exactly.
Like, who the fuck knows what happened? Maybe he fucking stuck it in a wood chipper and he doesn't want to relive that.
Absolutely. It's
So
like you don't know people's shit, so like don't bring it
And
up.
so every time thereafter, it kind of took me off guard the first time I saw it because he reached over and he had the robotic hand. And I went, "Oh, that's not the thing I was expecting."
Right.
And then after that, I just ignored it because it is now his hand. You leave it alone. And if he ever wanted to tell me why his hand was like that, fine. But otherwise, it's not my fucking business.
Absolutely.
So you just treat him like a normal human being.
Completely.
Until he wants to tell you the hand story.
Yeah, so basically, like, I mean, like, there was no harm in doing what they did.
No. And also, there's no harm in telling you that he fucking bit off his own fingers as a baby.
Nom, nom, nom.
And also, if I was in that situation where I was fucking stupid enough to ask him what happened to his hand, and he told me that he cut through them with a butter knife, and I was dumb enough to believe that he did, and then I figured out he told everyone else a different story, I'd be like, I'm a fucking idiot.
Right. Yeah. At that point, it's like, okay, you caught me slipping.
I can't believe I was that stupid to believe that.
They're just very charming. That's really what it is. So people believe it. High charisma score.
Yeah.
High deception. Just kept blasting away those deception rolls, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, butter knife. Oh yeah, you fucking just like went to town as a baby. It was like, oh, carrots, and just fucking went in."
Like, God knows.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, is I could almost believe that he probably bit them off as a child, but you'd think because like your bones are tiny and weak and your jaw's still really strong.
Right.
But also you'd think after he did the first one he'd stop. Babies can feel pain.
Sure. I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's something babies would do or you'd see it more often. I'm just saying that one would be slightly more believable because babies are dumb and they put everything in their mouth. God forbid someone like accidentally like kneed the baby in the jaw, he'd bite his finger off for sure.
Right. Jesus. Yeah, you never know. So basically, no.
But everything else he said was completely out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
But also, he's not an asshole. He can tell you whatever the fuck he wants about his own goddamn body.
They're not the asshole.
No. I keep saying he. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a weird thing, too. Like, why? Like, we just assumed they were a dude because I don't know why.
Because of the lies.
Oh, that's obviously staying in the podcast.
It has to.
Yeah,
we don't cut the podcast. No. We're doing it live.
We do. We're fully unadulterated, all bullshit flows.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. So the last one from this little grouping, I might tell you what the title of the other one was. It was kind of fucked, but it was removed. So I might just, I just won't say it because like I don't want to get people's hope up, and then we can't do that one. This one was posted by user Billy Butt Pimples.
Ooh, okay.
Doesn't have anything to do with this.
Okay.
I think that's just.
I was like, I really hope the story doesn't have to do with butt pimples. How are you the asshole for having butt pimples?
I think this one's fine.
Okay.
This one is a little spicy.
Okay.
But I'm interested to see your take on this because this one is sort of it's in a way relatable to you.
Okay. Then it's probably going to be loud.
Am I the asshole for sleeping naked on top of the covers to teach my flatmate's girlfriend a lesson.
Don't at me like that, man.
This person says, new to Reddit, please bear with me. So I, 21-year-old guy, live with my childhood best friend,
Okay.
22, also a guy, and have done so for 2 years now. Up until last week, things were perfect between us.
Okay.
However, he recently got a new girlfriend, 23, female. And she honestly seems absolutely great, except for one thing. She seemingly has a complete aversion to knocking. She and I have quite a lot in common, and I actually like spending time with her. However, it bugs the hell out of me when she just barges into my room without knocking first. Now, she's never walked in on me doing anything untoward. I'm just usually chilling on my bed or studying at my desk. However, on at least 7 separate occasions now, she's done it first thing in the morning to ask if I want coffee. I sleep naked. Every time prior to the last one, I've been under the covers and she hasn't seen anything. I always point out that she could have, and she just giggles and said, yeah, but I didn't.
Okay.
When she stayed over last week, in order to make my point, I intentionally slept on top of the covers. Sure enough, she barges in at 7 a.m., begins to ask if I want coffee, and sees my you-know-what. She immediately backed out of the room and didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My mate later pulled me aside and said I was being out of order, accused me of deliberately exposing myself and pointing out that I'd threatened to do it before. I literally just said, okay, but what if I have no covers and you saw everything before? They're now framing this to others that I'm some sick creep who intentionally got naked and lay in wait of her because that's how I get my rocks off. And I'm kind of seeing how it came off that way. Am I the asshole for doing this?
I don't think so.
I agree with you. And the thing is, like, I feel like it's a hard perspective because it's like you don't really want to put yourself in a situation where like you are doing anything that could be perceived as like especially like sexually threatening or exposing to someone who doesn't want to see that. You should never under any circumstances expose yourself to someone who doesn't emphatically agree that they want to be exposed to something to do with your physical, like with nudity or your physical form. But that, I feel like that kind of was already addressed between them.
He'd warned her multiple occasions. I sleep naked. If I roll over in my sleep and all my covers come off and you barge in here, you will see me naked. And she's goes, well, I haven't. Well, you might.
Right.
What if you do?
Literally letting you know that's a thing that could happen, which could be solved by, because that's a thing, is like there is an obvious, like in any other circumstances, there is a consent issue here, and that is the fact that like I don't think she necessarily is consenting to seeing this person naked. That's not what she wants to happen. But also, he is not consenting to having her just shove herself into his personal space. Like, this is my room. This is a space for me.
My door is closed.
My door is closed, which means you need to be invited in.
Yes.
And she just throws the door open and she's like, I get to do what I want.
Yeah.
And like, I think at that point, like, by no means does that mean that like violating a person's consent means that that person can then violate your consent.
Right.
But these things were discussed ahead of time. They were very carefully, like, not very carefully, but like they were like, it was explained like, this is a problem that we could run into. So I need you to kind of think about that. Like, and sure, the only issue is like, he never emphatically said, please knock on my door before you enter.
Well, we don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know if he said that, but he didn't say that he said it. I feel like he would have said it.
He said that he gave her warnings that if she keeps barging in, that she's going to see something.
Right.
So they could have had a longer conversation about how she needs to knock, or she's going to one day barge in and see anything, potentially. And she goes, well, I haven't, so...
Yeah, that's clearly not
Well,
Like, that's not good enough.
well, at the point, it's like if I were him, I probably would have done it a little bit smarter and like flashed her my ass instead of like
Sure,
my
yeah, just
whole
like,
twig and berries.
yeah, like have the whole dongle hanging out.
I
Like,
probably would have like
okay,
made it look like
buddy.
I was sleeping with covers on, like covered my legs, but like just flashed her my
Had my
whole fucking
ass out,
butt
yeah.
because that's like a little bit like ease her into it if she's gonna keep fucking barging in, like see if she's fine just seeing my whole fucking ass because I don't think she would be, and maybe that would be enough to fend her off. But at this point, she's gonna run into it whether it's on purpose or not, anyways. If she keeps barging in, she'll come in while you're changing, when you're done with the shower, while you're like getting ready for bed. One day she could potentially see it when you were actually getting up and you did throw off the covers when it's hot.
Right.
Like, at that point, it's like, I guess I could see why they're being like, oh, well, he just like lay in wait for her. It's like, no, it's like
It's
I
like that.
knew
It's
she was gonna
not.
fucking barge in and I'm doing what I normally do every fucking
And here's
day.
the thing. I'm just living my life sleeping in my room the way I want to sleep. She's the one who barged into my room and was like, "Hey, I'm just going to invade your personal space right
Yeah,
now." That it was gonna happen. He
yeah,
wasn't like lying in wait. He's like, I'm just gonna do what I want to do because if I want to be naked in my bed with the door closed, I should be allowed to
yeah.
do that. And then she barged in on him.
hmm Well, also, God for like, what if he wants to sleep on top of his covers?
Right? What if it's hot?
Like, it would have happened one way or another anyway, and he
One way or
shouldn't be
another.
forced to try and shield himself because he knows she's gonna barge in every day.
Hmm.
Or maybe, like, fucking get a lock or something so she
Right.
can't.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I guess I could see, like, getting a lock first, but also then she's gonna have the, like, oh, well, now I can't come in your room. And it's like, fuck you. Learn to knock. Like, long story short, I don't think he's the asshole. He was going about his day, doing what he normally would have done. The only thing he changed was that instead of being under the covers, he decided to just be on top of the covers.
Right.
And she went along with her business and invaded his privacy and didn't have any concern with what she was going to see. Well, she'd been warned multiple times before. And then she walked in and she saw him naked.
No, absolutely.
And it's not predatory unless you're going after somebody. You know how many fucking people she's probably seen naked? It's at least as many as me, and that's at least like five.
Oh, jeez.
So it's not anything surprising.
I've now pulled up
Okay.
a few more from. I am now on the Am I the Asshole Reddit Twitter page,
Okay.
where they post a lot of their like most popular and like recent ones that gained a lot of traction on the website. They posted on Twitter. I follow this Twitter
Hmm.
account. What's up?
You didn't tell me if other people thought he was the asshole.
Oh, no. Most people were just like, no, she's the one being fucking creepy. A lot of people were like, one of the the top comments was saying like, honestly, like the way she reacted to you first saying like, hey, you could walk in here and I might be naked on top of my covers, and like that's not that's not something you
Want
like
to subject yourself to.
yeah. And the way she was just like, huh, yeah, but I haven't. It like they were just like it kind of feels like a yet. So like if you want to talk about like entrapment,
There's
like
that.
she's kind of like doing it every day and maybe low key hoping that that happens. And like obviously that wasn't the case because then it happened and she got super pissed and uncomfortable. Like
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't the case, but like the commenter was saying like how do we know that like that wasn't like a situation?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like clearly that wasn't the case, but like you're as much as at fault for that as she is. Like
Mm-hmm.
you had informed her about the risk of the situation that she was putting herself in. You were in your own private space and she willingly underwent that risk.
Mm-hmm.
So most people agreed, no,
It's like telling people
that
that
guy's
there's
not the asshole.
TNT buried under the ground, and you're like, yeah, but I've dug like 5 holes and I haven't found any TNT yet. So I guess I'm just gonna dig this hole. And so you dig the hole, and when it blows up, you can't be pissed.
Right. So this one's a little bit of a funny one. It's kind of a little bit. It's kind of dumb,
Okay.
but this one is pretty recently in their Twitter posts. Probably was within the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
This one we unfortunately don't have a poster for this one because on the Twitter page they don't post who the user was.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for double dipping in my own sauce.
Okay.
So at the table, me and my girlfriend were eating McDonald's.
Uh-huh.
I got a nug, probably a 6-piece,
Nuggets.
and a quarter pounder with fries, and my girlfriend got a Big Mac and fries. I dipped my nugget in the sweet and sour and took a bite out of half the nugget. Then dipped it back in and did the same with the fries.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, my girlfriend has a panic attack, and she's like, "Oh my god, did you just double dip? That's disgusting." And started like fanning herself, and I guess she couldn't handle it anymore and just went to the living room saying I had no table manners.
Okay.
She's pregnant, so I thought she might just be irrational and I'm being over dramatic. So I called a friend and he said that that was super gross and that you absolutely don't do that at the dinner table. I was confused because I know double dipping is bad when sharing sauce like salsa or any other dip when sharing, but it was like my own sauce. Now I'm wondering if I do have table manners and am I the asshole?
No, you're not.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck was this?
I don't know. That's so stupid. You're like,
She probably just like got nauseous because she could smell the sweet and sour, and she's like, "Ugh, gross," and just walked away.
well, that or
Like she's pregnant, she's gonna be nauseous sometimes. Not that it's like, oh, she's pregnant, so she's irrational. I don't agree with him saying that. He was like, oh, she's probably just like irrational because she's pregnant. It's not that. I think that she just like there's a miscommunication here.
Well, like maybe it's because he bit it and then like dipping food that's already been in your mouth into the sauce, maybe grossing her out at that moment. But also, like, it's not polite to double dip in sauce you share because you're sharing germs.
Right.
A sauce that you are exclusively going to be putting in only your mouth, you can do whatever the fuck you want with.
Absolutely.
Like,
why the fuck would you not be able to do that? It's literally your sauce. You're the only one eating the sauce.
Sounds like
now,
everyone else is fucking
if she
delusional.
wanted to use the sauce, that'd be a different story. But
Yes.
she probably should have asked.
Well, yeah, if she wanted to use the sauce, she should have said so. And also, like, what is she only going to use it for? Fries? Like, there might be more than one in there. Like, just take one for yourself. Like, Jesus.
Right. That's the thing. And the thing is, like, did he get like a 6-piece nugget? If he got a 6-piece nugget, he probably got 2 sauces. One sauce, just if she wants a sauce, just like be like, hey, can I get one of those sauces? It's your own sauce. Now you can double dip your own sauce. That's fine. Like it's
Unless
all
she's
good.
just got an inherent problem for double dipping, and then it's just she already sounds like she's nuts.
Yeah, but like if it's your sauce, there's functionally no difference between double dipping and just dipping.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's the same.
Is that
it's all the same mechanisms happening.
Yeah, you're just giving yourself your own germs, and you already had them, so fuck it. Like, geez.
It's like, yeah, but because that's the thing is like, oh well, like, but like some of your spit is on the nugget when you dip it into the container, and your sauce has spit in it. It's like, yeah, but the nugget has spit on it when I bite the nugget.
Well, also the spit came from me.
Right. Well, right.
So it's just going back into me.
It's yeah.
So what?
It's not like you swallow your spit all day. That's like a thing you do.
Oh, you swallowed your own spit? Gross.
Oh, gross. You have to spit on the floor every second of your life. Nasty.
It's stupid. It's not a bad post, but it's a bad problem to have. Like, geez, worry about bigger things. My God.
So this next one.
Okay.
This one's interesting.
Okay.
This one's a little bit. It's a roller coaster. One big drop, but it's a roller coaster.
All right.
So let's see about this one. Am I the asshole for using my neighbor's bath?
Okay.
I live in an apartment block and live across from my neighbor. Let's call him Jerry.
All right.
Jerry is a 40-year-old man who lives alone and works 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. He gave me a key a few years back when he went on vacation. I still have the key.
Okay.
6 months ago, my shower broke before a big work presentation.
Mm-hmm.
I sent him a text asking if I could use his bath, but he never got back to me.
Okay.
I assumed it was okay. It turned out he'd changed his number. Anyway, I took my bath and I loved it. I don't have a bath in my flat, and it was some experience. Brought my own shower gel, my own shampoo, and a rubber duck, so I didn't use anything he had paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Since then...
Except the water.
Right, except the water. Since then, I've just been using his bath when he's not around. It's the best part of the week, midday on Tuesday and Friday when I head into work. That's the first dip in the roller coaster. Then everything went wrong. Jerry died. I didn't know this, and I went in for my Tuesday bath, was sitting there relaxing, and his brother came in and was shocked to see me sitting naked on his toilet post-shower. It was the worst moment he could have arrived. He was so mad. I was humiliated beyond belief. I am still so embarrassed, and I feel so ashamed of my body and how I appeared to this man. It turned into a big thing. Apparently, I'm a dick for using Jerry's bath. I don't think so, because I always brought my own stuff and Jerry gave me the key to begin with. I'm heartbroken at the loss of my neighbor and the lovely memories he gave me. Am I actually the asshole? I don't really think so.
Yes.
What a fucking ride that was,
My
right?
fucking god.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Is like he gave him a key. Because that's the thing is like when I was first reading it, I was going through and he's like he gave him the key one time so that you can just like check on my house. He was like, okay, cool. At no point was there like you can use the bath. It might have been implied when he was watching the house, but that ended.
Yeah.
He then texts him again and says, hey man, can I use your bath? My shower broke.
No answer.
No answer. And he's just like,
I guess that means yes.
Jerry's not fucking home. So he does it one time using his water, but he's like, no, I didn't use any of his stuff. But he did run his water, so he used his utilities. And then after doing it one time, he's just like, you know what? I bet I could do that literally every Tuesday and Friday for the foreseeable future. And that's just fucking fine. And then this man fucking dies. Sure, he didn't know he was dead when he went in on Tuesday for his twice weekly batherino. But holy shit.
Oh my god.
Yep. 100% the asshole.
Yeah, a million
like a disaster. Disaster.
No answer is not consent for showering.
Yeah, we were just talking about
Also, after he gave you the key, obviously he was old enough that he probably fucking forgot he made you one. Usually when you're done watching someone's house, the key goes back to the person who owns the house.
Precisely.
So you shouldn't have kept the key. You shouldn't have used the shower if he didn't say you could have. You can't justify it by saying you didn't use anything he paid for because you used his water twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dude dies. You just karma'd yourself, dude. Like,
absolutely.
You used it so many times, you deserved the fate of his brother catching you naked, pooping after you showered.
Right, I actually forgot about that part. He was literally
Who poops after they shower?
This man is just not, he's not there. Like
At that point, you might as well just re-shower.
Yeah. Well, I think that, could you imagine? He's like, oh yeah, I took the shower, then I pooped, then I'm going to go take a bath. Like, get the fuck
At that point,
out.
You're just swimming in poop.
Yeah, get the fuck out of there.
You gotta...
Don't fucking do that. Don't do that.
You're an asshole.
If anyone ever gets an idea to be like, my neighbor's not home, but I have the key, I'll just get, don't fucking do that. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Oh, literally, if someone doesn't tell you yes to a thing, don't do the thing. It's really that easy. If you follow that simple rule, you will never have problems.
You will never get caught pooping in someone else's house.
Well, their family's there collecting their belongings because they died. And that's the thing. He went to his bath on Friday. So at some point between Friday and Tuesday, the man dropped dead. Mm-hmm. That's a 5-day window. That he was just like, oh my God. Absolutely fucking.
I don't think I'm the asshole at all. It's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, the thing, the fact that this guy like acted was like, I don't really think I'm that much of an asshole. I'm like, unfortunately, you can't see the comments on the Twitter one, but like, I'm almost positive the whole Reddit was just like, dude, you're a fuckhead. Like, you're an absolute piece of shit.
Probably, Jesus Christ.
That's not. Okay, we're probably going to do 2 more. I have 2 more. I'm going to end with a classic, with the one that got me to follow the account. I knew nothing about Am I the Asshole, and then I saw this post, and I'm like, okay, this is something.
Sounds good.
So we're going to start with this one first, and then we'll go to the magnum opus, the piece de resistance, to say the least. This one, I feel like this one's too easy, but we'll go for it. Am I the asshole for not letting my girlfriend move in with me despite her being pregnant?
What?
Mm-hmm. We dated for 8 months before she got pregnant. She's currently 14 weeks pregnant and has decided to keep the baby. I still feel that our relationship is too new for us to move in together, even though we're going to be parents. I like her a lot, and I can see a lot of potential for this relationship, but I'm just not sure yet where I see us long term. Moving in together doesn't feel right at this point. I've communicated my feeling that we're moving too fast to her, and she was disappointed. Part of the reason why she wants to do this is because it will be easier to take care of the baby if we're living under the same roof when the time comes. It also means we don't have to get two of everything, so each place can have a nursery/place for our baby. Surprisingly, I've gotten more heat from my family than my girlfriend. My mother told me I was selfish and implied that I was doing this so I could stick my girlfriend with baby duty so I could keep living a carefree life. My dad told me I was being a dick to my girlfriend and not taking responsibility. My sister said something similar. There seems to be a consensus among my family and friends that I'm an asshole. But I think they don't appreciate how new this relationship is, and moving it forward simply because we're having a child is a terrible idea. Sure, it will require more planning to make our current situation work, but it's not impossible. I think in this case, everyone has massively overreacted and unfairly labeled me the asshole.
No. How about the moment you have a fucking baby, it is no longer about you, bitch?
Mm-hmm. Amen to that.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. I'm gonna make us buy two of every expensive item you need to purchase in order to foster the health and well-being of a literal
You
infant
know
human
he's
child.
not doing that.
Well, that's the thing. He's probably just gonna be like, I don't know, this baby can fucking sleep on the couch. I don't care. Or he's gonna be like, oh well, I mean, I haven't like gotten all the stuff yet, so like the baby's gonna have to stay with you. Like, I'll just come over to your house and I'll go hang out at your house while you're not at work. And then when you get back from work, I'll just
I'll go
leave
home.
so you can just take care of the baby at your house.
What the
I don't want
fuck?
to do all that extra stuff. It's like I don't want to be responsible for having a child. This relationship is too new. We've been dating
Then maybe don't fucking sleep with the lady.
yeah, like we're having a baby and we've been together for 8 months, and when the baby is finished cooking, it will be what? What is that like? That's
It's
like
9 months.
almost 2 years. It's almost
Yeah.
There'll be almost 2 years at that point. At that point, you should probably be fucking moved in.
Well, she's already 3 months and a little bit more.
She said, "Oh yeah, 14 weeks. That's true. It's true." So yeah, oh, no, it's still like a year and a half.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, they should be moved.
At this point,
absolutely.
you're having a fucking kid. Suck it up.
Yeah, too late. Like, should have thought about it, bud.
You're stuck with her for a little while.
Yeah, that's
At least 18 years.
Yeah.
So make yourself comfy.
100%. 100% the asshole on this one. And I love how like the last two have been so clearly you're the asshole, and both of them have like insisted. They're like, I don't think I'm the asshole. I think everybody else is wrong.
No.
It's like, bro, where are you at right now?
How about this? If more than 5 people in your life tell you you're probably being an asshole, generally, especially if they know you well, generally you probably are.
If your whole family is telling you you're an asshole, you might be an asshole.
Because
unless they're all assholes. Odds are pretty low on that one.
yes. Well, that's the thing. You can usually tell because either the whole world will tell you,
Right.
besides a few choice cunt bags,
Sure.
or your family will tell you. And that's when you really know. Because if they're all assholes, they sure as hell won't tell you, but the world will. But if your family, who's more likely to be biased towards you, is telling you you're an asshole,
Right.
and your friends are also telling you that you're being an asshole, and they're also biased to tell you you're not being an asshole, you probably are.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, 100% he's the asshole. No question.
1,000,000%.
And I'm sure, I mean, we didn't check the comments, but like Reddit,
I'm sure they agree.
Reddit can smell an asshole. When they smell one, I guess. So let's end on a high note.
All right.
This is moi. This one will get a little bit Like it dives into a little bit like it's some inappropriate subject matter. Good thing kids don't fucking listen to this, so we're good.
We marked the YouTube videos as not for kids, so they shouldn't be listening to it.
That's true. If they are, consider don't.
Yeah.
Consider don't.
Can you don't?
Can you don't? But anyway, so this one is the one that clued me into this subreddit and basically created this entire podcast episode. This one is from user Peanut Butter Dilemma.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for putting my penis in peanut butter and leaving it in the kitchen?
Yes.
Wait.
No.
We haven't finished yet.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm looking for some assistance determining whether I am the asshole in this situation that has divided our house into two groups.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut
butter fuckers and not peanut butter fuckers?
Well, we're getting there. We're going to cross that bridge. Don't worry. I, 20 male, am a college student living with 4 other guys my age. It's our second year living together. And last year we had an issue with people eating food that isn't theirs. So now we have a strict label your stuff and only eat things with your name on it policy. My girlfriend and I like to get a bit frisky in the bedroom. And a few nights ago, I dipped my penis in peanut butter and she licked it off. Yes, I understand that it is slightly bizarre, but that's how we roll.
Oily as fuck too.
That's just God, no, don't do that. But I mean, if that's your thing, okay, and not. For
I'm just
me.
Talking about for a personal, like you can do what you want, but like you need to like wash with soap to get that thing off. Like, licking it off is not going to do it.
Yeah, that's a shower. That's a shower. That's
also a yeast infection waiting to happen.
That's a dick shower. That's like an exclusively dick shower. Anyway, shout out to Jared for the dick shower. Well, that's a whole story. We may get it. I'll get into that someday. Probably not on the podcast. But Jared, if you're listening, that's for you, buddy. Anyway, the controversy is that since we have a mouse problem, I did not want to leave the peanut butter in my bedroom. So afterwards, I closed it and returned it to my kitchen cupboard. Note that it had a huge insert name here, his name, label on it. So it was clear that it belonged to me. One of my roommates comes up to me yesterday and says, "Oh, by the way, I had some of your peanut butter." He sees my visibly shocked reaction and asks, "What's up?" So ultimately, I come clean about the whole deal. He's furious and says, "Why the fuck would you put it back in the kitchen?" I remind him of the mouse situation and our policy not to have other people's labeled foods. This is the first time all year that someone has had my labeled food and informed me after the fact. He said it was just some peanut butter on his bread. It's not like he was taking full chicken breasts for me or anything. My house is split 3-2 on who's in the wrong, and it's spilling over into other aspects of our living situation. We need to get over this pronto, so I'm asking, am I the asshole?
I rescind my comment. I mean, a little bit. Yes and no.
It's complicated.
He's not the asshole, but he's stupid.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Like, you have a mouse problem, but also peanut butter has a fucking lid. They're not going to burrow into your peanut butter jar, especially if you put it up somewhere they're not going to really climb.
Right.
Like, you can just find a drawer to put that in.
I feel like the mouse situation is a bigger problem if you're worried about it actually getting into the sealed jar of peanut butter.
Yeah, like if that mouse can open jars of peanut butter, like worst case scenario, it's going to steal the jar or something.
If a mouse can lift the jar, then you need to call an exterminator now.
Like, put it on your dresser, like in a bag, and the mouse isn't going to come for your peanut butter.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, like, so that's why he's stupid. Just keep the fucking peanut butter.
Yeah, just keep it in your room. Like, it's so much easier to do it that way. You can conceal. Put it in your desk drawer or something.
In a home with a no-name free game, like, rule.
Policy, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't eat other people's shit.
Yep.
And if you're going to, ask first.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wouldn't have eaten his dick butter.
Yeah. That's the thing. I wholeheartedly agree. And when you first read it, you're just like, bro, what the fuck is your problem? Like, why would you do like? Because like he buried the lead so hard in that one. He posted and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Am I a dick because I dipped my penis in peanut butter and then left it in my kitchen?"
Mm-hmm.
Any sane, rational human being would be like, "Yup," and move
Uh-huh.
on with their life. That's it. But there's nuance. There's
Mm-hmm.
layers. There's a whole other fucking side to this story.
Yeah.
Like the label was on it. His name is on there. He said it was a big bold label. It's got his first and last name on it. Just a big fucking show. And then he actually there's an addendum to it. It's a short one, but he added on at the end. He was like, we have divided up cupboards. And the cupboards, like a person's food, like there'll be a whole section. You open up a cupboard, and there's a whole section up to down that's all just like, this is just things with this person's label on them.
Mm-hmm.
And like everyone has their own section. It wasn't in a communal cupboard. It was in a divided part that was his space with a bunch of other food that is his with his name on it.
Mm-hmm.
Your buddy went in and was just like, it's just some fucking peanut butter. Scooped up that dick butter, popped it on some bread, popped it on some toast, spread that shit, had a good like mouthful of like a nice peanut butter and cock sandwich. Just put that in the mouth, and then afterwards he's like, hey, by the way, like I know we have like a strict rule because this was a problem we've had in the past because of our second year living together, but I broke that rule. I hope that there wasn't a problem with me doing that. There was a problem, and he fucked up.
Yeah.
That's on Dick Buttermuncher.
Yeah.
It's not on the guy who decided to get kinky with a jar of Jiffy. Yeah. Like that's
yeah.
That's how it is. Like that, and that's the thing is, like I'm willing to bet, and perhaps this is presumptuous of me, but I'm willing to bet that the dude who ate the peanut butter without asking, I bet you that was the guy they had the problem with. I bet you he's why the rule exists.
Probably.
Because I guarantee you that guy was just like, oh, fuck, there's just like food and just like shoving it in his face. Mm-hmm. If he's going to go into the cabinet after they have a rule, like a set rule that everyone follows and everyone's got labels on shit, and he's still going to go in the cabinet and get like, I can just take a little peanut butter, no big fucking deal. That's the guy who was causing your problem. Yep. Honestly, that it's karma. It's just karma.
Yeah.
Like,
you just don't touch shit that's yours.
Yeah, it really comes down to like,
especially if you have the name fucking rule in place, because that's
why it exists. Yeah. So you don't eat dick butter.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, not even just that. Like we have a bunch of kids in my house, and so like if we buy something, we would always worry about it disappearing. And
by kids, we mean mostly full-grown 20-plus-year-olds.
But that's the thing. As we become a group of adults, we'd have to put our names on things so people wouldn't steal our shit, and we'd like know what was in the house and like whose was what. And if you want something that's mine, ask me for it, and I will normally give it to you. But if you take it from me, dick in butter or not, I'm pissed.
It's yours. I put my name on it for a reason.
Because I wanted to eat that.
Yeah.
And so like, God forbid, like, no, if I did the same thing, like if I fucking like dunked a titty in some jelly or something like that, like don't eat it.
God bless.
And if you do, it sucks to suck. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess you're just eating my
tit jelly. Yeah. Like fuck you.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean that's it. Like that's peak karma there.
If it bothers you, don't eat any more fucking other dick butter.
I guarantee you, he's not going to eat anybody else's shit for the rest of his life.
It's a hard lesson, but it's one you have to learn.
Yep, that's how it goes in college. You see some weird shit when you live with especially when you live with a bunch of dudes. You see some weird shit.
I've only lived with 2 dudes before, and I still had Brenna with me at the time.
Right.
They were pretty normal dudes for the most part, except for one of them who was probably the weirder guy I'd ever seen. I don't know if this is a podcast suitable. He went to a house to acquire some drugs. We've already crossed that threshold. We're good, yeah. He went to a house to acquire some herbal substances. Yes, of course.
Well, okay, some powdered substances.
Something. Yeah. And he was not invited into the home. Went into the home anyway. The dog chased him out, and I guess he was already on something. So
Oh
he ran
boy.
across the busy highway into the cemetery, and some of my friends had to chase him into it to figure out what the hell was going on with him. And then I guess it was like he had stolen something from the house,
Oh
and there's a
no.
whole fiasco. And I was like, and that's a dude I'm living with, and maybe I don't want to live here
Yeah.
anymore.
It makes it worse because like we don't have to talk about it, but I know exactly who that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know exactly who that was. I'm pretty sure I went to high
Yeah,
school with him.
I
So.
think so. So I moved out of that.
That's a metaphor for my entire graduating class.
I
If
moved.
any of you were listening, you know what you did.
I moved out. I moved out of that house very shortly after, and also it was really funny. Or it wasn't funny, but I was moving out of the house, and the other guy that lived in that house was perfectly normal.
Sure, yeah,
Regular ass
it's like a
dude.
regular dude. Yeah.
But Brenna had kindly donated her like huge flat screen TV to the living room.
Mm.
Like, I know that the people on the podcast can't see, but it was about as big as two of those panels on my garage door.
Oh yeah, so it's like
It was big.
yeah, it's like a few feet. That's pretty fucking big.
It's
Yeah.
like a
Wow.
4 foot by 5 foot or some
Shit.
garbage. Um, and I came home to get my stuff like a few days after that incident because I told them I was leaving. I was giving them a little bit. Uh, it wasn't a week after I told them I was leaving. I told them much ahead of time, but it was like a week before, like while I was in the moving process.
Right.
I was getting the last of my things, and Brenna was livid, and I was like, I knew she was already kind of upset that I was moving,
Right.
but it just couldn't really be helped. And I was already struggling financially, and so that other incident was kind of like the hair on the camel's back. And so she was pissed, and she goes, "Did you smash my TV?" And I was like,
Oh
"What?"
no.
And she's like, "You like I know you did it. Just tell me you smashed my TV." And I was like, "Dude, I would never smash your things.
Right.
Like we get into fights sometimes,
Sure.
but not to a point where I won't like give you my headphones if you want them, like,
Right.
but I'm not gonna like break your shit, especially a TV. I know how much those fucking cost. And she's like, "Well, I asked Aaron if he did it." Oh, I said his name out loud. And he said
that's staying in, baby.
that wasn't the crazy guy. That was the normal guy, Aaron.
Yeah.
He's a very nice boy. I asked him if he did it, and he said he didn't do it, which he did not.
Right.
And I asked other guy if he did it, and he said he didn't do it, and he then apparently had gotten mad at her for even insinuating that.
So he fucking did.
Yeah, that he could have done it, and so he went to go stay somewhere else where.
Oh no! Okay.
For the night,
All right.
and I was like,
okay.
I was like, Brenna, you're so dumb.
Yeah,
I love you, but you're so dumb.
You know he fucking.
I was like,
did it,
he
right?
did it.
Yeah, 100%.
And she's like, well, he said he didn't, and I was like, he did though.
Yeah, but I said I didn't. You didn't believe me.
Well, yeah, I was like,
because she asked you last.
Well, because
at that point,
because at 2 points, she had asked people, and they had said no, they hadn't,
right.
And I was in the middle of moving out, and like, so.
Oh, like, okay, yeah. So she was drawing the conclusion of like it must have just happened while you were moving,
or she could have thought that like I had gotten like. Bless her heart, she always thought I was pissed at her, and it's just because I'm not very talky.
Sure.
And so while I was moving, I was even more anxious because I was like, she's probably mad at me.
Sure.
But she thought I was probably mad at her. And so she thought I probably took out my anger and smashed her TV while I was leaving because, like, I wouldn't have, like, she wouldn't have been able to prove it. But I didn't. But I was like, also, like, Aaron was at work all day.
Yeah.
And then he came home and he took a nap.
Sure.
He woke up to Brenna waking him up and asking what happened to the TV.
Yeah, so it wasn't it.
And he was like, what do you mean? And she's like, my TV's smashed. And so then he's like, he comes out and he like tries to turn it on, and it's like spider webbed, and
so it's like bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was like
and
actually, like,
he was like trying to figure out what happened to it, and like he was genuinely shocked.
Yeah.
And she asked the other guy, and he immediately got pissed and was appalled she'd even say that or whatever. And he was the only one home all day long.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I was out moving my things with my sister.
Yeah.
Aaron was at work.
Mm.
Brenna was at work.
Right.
He was home.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure at that point he either didn't have a job or he worked nights.
Sure.
So he was home. And then Aaron gets home. He's not there anymore.
Right.
Uh,
All of a sudden, he's not there anymore.
A little while later, Brenna gets home. Finds out her TV's wrecked. I get there at the end of the night. And I'm the only one that hasn't clarified what happened. So she thought I did it.
Right.
And I was like, no, look at it.
Yeah.
You asked Aaron what happened. Complete shock.
Yeah.
You asked me what happened. Complete shock. You asked him what happened. Anger.
Yep.
Blaming you for even insinuating he did it.
Mm.
What's the difference?
Right.
I was like, and I know this isn't a who's the asshole story, but it's definitely
no,
like
that's okay because I feel like this has turned into spicy roommate drama, and I'm really here for it. I got some good stories too.
And she was like, yeah, I guess. And I was like, dude, and that's why I'm moving.
Yeah. On that note, goodbye.
I was like, dude, like, I was like, I'm really sorry that happened, but you gotta believe me. I didn't do it. I am fully convinced Aaron didn't do it.
Yeah.
The only person that probably did is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also suggest maybe you get out of this house because it seems like
maybe we should all leave this house.
It seems like he's got beef with you in particular.
Yeah. Oh, what a mess. I had a similar situation happen in my was it my senior year? My senior year of college. Yeah, heading into my senior year. I'm gonna talk about this on the podcast, even though I know of the people involved in this.
Okay.
And I don't think that they listen to the podcast. For a number of unrelated reasons, I really hope they don't. I would rather they don't exist in my life anymore.
Well, that's what I was saying too. I accidentally outed. It's fine if Brenna knew that I said the story because me and her went through this together, and almost nobody that watches this podcast really knows her.
Right.
But then I said, Aaron's dead out loud, and well, he's victimless in this story and is a perfectly normal human being. I hope he doesn't hear this because I don't want to create any problems with him. And the only way that other guy is gonna be able to be outed is if anyone outs him or if he outs himself. So, and he probably doesn't listen to this podcast anyway.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it.
Hopefully he doesn't, and if he does, stay quiet, dude.
Yeah, right. You do not want to know it was you. You do not want people knowing it was you. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Yes, your story.
So my story. So this was my senior year, which would have been 2015, like March, like late March, early April 2015. Backstory to this. In our junior year, first of all, I had been living with one of my roommates for 3 out of 4 years. Of my my time at college. My first year, me and him were the only two who knew each other. The other 3 roommates were just kind of random people. Actually, one of them, I'll tell you his name later.
Okay.
One of them lived in East Hampton.
Okay.
So I don't know if you knew him.
Maybe.
But
small town.
He was a person. He doesn't listen to this. He kind of sucks now. He's like he's not a great dude.
Okay.
From what his Facebook account implies.
All right.
My fondest memory of him was on Valentine's Day. He was single and decided to drink an entire handle of Jack Daniel's whiskey to himself after lighting 2 candles in the living room and just staring at a blank TV screen.
Okay.
And got so belligerently drunk that he thankfully blew the candles out and then left the room and stumbled halfway down the hallway, puked in the hall, and had to be carried out by an ambulance. That was his Valentine's Day. He's like, I'm going to treat myself, and then got so drunk that he
to an ambulance.
Went to the hospital. So he's a dude. But that was, I live with that guy. But I lived with this other guy who I went to high school with. We then became roommates with 3 more people, one of which was in the same year as us, but I think was a couple years older.
Okay.
But he was the same year as us in college. I think he was 2 years older than us. Who was a mutual friend of one of our friends from high school. Actually, he formerly dated one of our friends from high school. They then broke up. They were kind of still friends. And that's how we knew him. And then the other 2 people were a friend of mine from high school who was a year younger than me, who we hung out with a lot. And the only person who I'll probably name in this one, actually, the other person was Cody.
Cody!
Yeah, so he's a friend of mine. I've known him like for most of like high
Good
school,
guy.
and yeah, he's a good guy. He literally has done nothing wrong. He is not the culprit in the story. One of my other roommates, I will not use his name, and the other roommate who I will use his name because he's a shithead, and if he hears this, I want him to know he's a shithead. This is Kyle. It's not Kyle, my friend Kyle, who was in our D&D campaign. This is a different Kyle.
Kyle's gonna listen and go, I wasn't there.
This is bad Kyle. This is shithead Kyle.
Uh-huh.
This is should be in prison Kyle.
Oh.
Yeah, like he's not a good dude.
Not D&D Kyle who plays like a lovable troublemaking rogue.
Yes,
Kyle.
should be in prison and should be on a list somewhere, Kyle.
Okay.
Not a good person.
We'll refer to them that from here on out. Good Kyle and bad Kyle.
Yes, this is bad Kyle.
Okay, so we're talking about bad Kyle.
This story is exclusively about bad Kyle. So backstory: end of junior year.
Uh-huh.
My other friend, S, we'll call him S.
Mm-hmm.
His girlfriend, A, I guess. They had been dating since high school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, this was our junior year, so we're 3 years into college. They had been dating since, I think, sophomore year of high school. So they've been dating for like 5.5 years at this point.
All right.
Final day of final exams. It is move out day. We are getting out of the dorms. On that day, she breaks up with S.
Ooh.
Dumps him on that. She's like, this isn't working out. I need to go like do other things with my life. Like this isn't for me. He's like at the point where he's like, we've had conversations. She's like, he's like at some point after college, like once I have it, like I'm working real hard. I'm going to get a good paying job. We'll move out to somewhere nice. I'm going to propose to her. Like he was like in it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, eh. There was a lot of shit going on behind the scenes. The two of them really weren't compatible people. She's a very different kind of person than he was. He's very much like he's like a Boy Scout type. He's like, I always want to do the right thing. I'm like a good guy. She's like kind of a wild child. The two of them didn't really mesh. But whatever. That's beside the point. There we go. Bad Kyle.
Yes.
Who's been our roommate for 2 years now.
Okay.
I'm texting him periodically throughout the summer. And I'm like, hey, how have things been going? He's like, oh, I'm doing great, actually. I've been hanging out a lot. And I'm like, oh, like hanging out with like also, he's like, yeah, actually, there's this new girl I'm seeing. And like, he was kind of like talking about it. He's like, yeah, like we're really hitting it off. Like things are going super well for us. Like, I feel really strong about this. And I'm like, okay, neat, cool. Like, that's great for you. Like, I'm glad you found somebody, being a supportive friend. Mm-hmm. The day before we move into our senior year dorms, it has been 3 months, he texts the group chat and he's like, by the way, I'm dating your ex.
Oh, no.
They started seeing each other the day that she broke up with him.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. This is good. So that happened. And at this point, it's the day before we move in. We've signed our roommate agreements. We are locked in. No one's getting out of this dorm. They now have to live with each other all year. It's their senior year. It's his junior year, but it's Evil Kyle's senior year.
Evil Kyle. He's been upgraded to Evil Kyle.
He fucking sucks. He's a terrible person. It's his senior year, and he's like, I don't care if he has a problem with it. He can fucking deal with it. I'm not going to apologize for doing what makes me happy. And I'm like, well, you're kind of a giant piece of shit, but I guess we're not gonna be nice to you. Like you're a fuckhead.
Right.
And he's like, ooh, whatever. But the worst part is at this point, my other roommate, very good guy, Dave. You know Dave.
Yeah.
Yes. Good guy. He's the one I've been roommates with most of the years. Yeah. I started with him and we were roommates every single year. That year, for the first semester, he planned a study abroad. He went to the UK and Scotland and like I think maybe Wales. He was going there. He was a political science major. That was when they were doing their big referendum and like voting on a bunch of I can't remember exactly what it was. They were voting on a bunch of things, like
Mm-hmm.
major changes to their government.
Yeah.
So he was there for that to happen, like on the ground, like at protests and shit. It was like work. It was like work experience. So he's like, I got to do this study abroad. Like I want to go to the UK. So he went and did that. But because he did that, he was not eligible to be our roommate that year. When
Um.
he came back
Uh-huh.
afterwards, he would only be able to move in if there was an open space in the roommate agreement, and we would downgrade it to a 4-person suite instead of a 5-person suite.
Uh-huh.
So when he came in, we were like, hey, shitty Kyle, you've been in this dorm for 4.5 months with people who don't like you, and you keep bringing her back around, and the two of you hang out in the dorm and make everybody uncomfortable. Can you fucking leave? Like,
Mm-hmm.
can you leave? And he's like, because like, can you leave? Because then Dave can come back in and live with us, and we can like have some fucking peace in our life.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, it's my room. I can do what I want with it. He
Mm-hmm.
refused to let Dave back in.
Yeah.
So giant piece of shit. And on top of that, he like refused. And then that entire semester, he was like, I can see that I'm not welcome here. And then went over to her dorm and mostly stayed at her dorm, but also wouldn't relinquish the room so Dave couldn't come live with us.
Yeah, sounds like a grade A cock block.
Yeah, he's a giant piece of shit. But anyway, so that's a whole thing. Karmic retribution.
Okay.
The next chapter of the story. All of us, save for S,
Mm-hmm.
who is basically the victim in this situation, and Dave. The two of them stay. S works like 40 hours a week
Mm-hmm.
on campus doing like fancy stuff. He can't really leave his job. He's also TAing for a class, so he's got a lot of shit going on. He can't leave with us. Dave didn't buy his tickets ahead of time, didn't really care to go. The rest of us went to PAX East 2015
All right.
for a weekend. Me, Cody, a bunch of other people that I hang out with, like our usual crew. We have a whole PAX crew. There was like fucking 11 of us.
Mm-hmm.
We went to PAX for a couple days. We are going down the escalator to get on the bus that will
Mm-hmm.
take us to our car on the final day of PAX East.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. At some point,
Mm-hmm.
Shitty Kyle decided, hey, you know what would be a really good idea? I don't really use my room anymore, and it's kind of cramped because I got the small room, but I want like a space. So since you guys are going to PAX in a couple days, I think 2 weeks before is a reasonable amount of time. I'm gonna take my giant fucking computer setup. Like he had like
Mm-hmm.
this big fucking expensive ass, like massive fucking monitor, and he had this huge, like it was like a computer tower with like all the guts and wires of this like big fancy expensive computer.
Mm-hmm.
He moved it all into the living room and plugged it into the TV, and he's like, I'm just gonna play Age of Empires in the living room on the couch,
All right.
and this is gonna be my space. So like we'd walk in and he's just sitting there just like playing computer games with the volume cranked all the way up in the fucking living room instead of in his room.
Bitch, no.
Right, exactly. But he's like, I mean, like it's a huge deal to have to move all the shit back out.
Well,
And then
then
like
deal with
we don't
it.
care, like move your
It's
shit.
a communal space. How about get your shit in your room, or I'll throw it out.
So eventually he decided to compromise by leaving his shit there, but just not playing video games. He just went back. He just went over to his girlfriend's place and was there.
Okay, cool.
But he left all this shit there on the floor. So we leave for PAX. Dave and S are the only two people who are in the dorm.
Mm-hmm.
Dave comes and hangs out in the dorm all the time because he, by all rights, he should have been there.
Yeah.
They go to hang out in the dorm. They were doing whatever. I don't know what happened. I don't care what happened.
Okay.
But they were in the dorm. We're on the bus on our way back. Actually, we were going down the escalator.
Okay.
Me and Cody at the same time receive a text message from Shitty Kyle.
Okay.
And he says, which one of you motherfuckers broke my computer? Now, I know it wasn't me,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't Cody, because we've been in Boston for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
No fucking chance.
Yeah.
Now, could it have been Dave? Maybe. Could it have been S? Maybe. Was it his fault for leaving his literal $1,200 computer tower in the living room next to the end table by the couch?
100%.
Absolutely. 100% his fault. We told him to get the fuck out.
Yeah. Don't leave your shit out if you don't want it to get broke.
But anyway, it was damaged.
Yep.
We get back to the dorm that night, 9:30, 10 o'clock p.m. He is there, his arms crossed. His girlfriend is there. She's like tapping her foot. And we walk in and we're like, did you figure out your computer issue? And she's like, well, no, we don't know who was responsible for it. So we talked it over, and we feel like the fair thing is for everybody to chip in a little to help repair it.
No! No!
And me and Cody looked at each other.
Oh, I would have fought her.
Yeah. No, that's the thing is like, I'm like, you know me, I hate conflict. I'm the first person to be like, I don't know. Like, I just kind of sit back.
I would have fought her.
I stopped and I looked at Cody and I turned back to her and I'm like, I get where you're coming from, I guess, but we weren't here. There's
no way.
There's absolutely no way we were involved with this. We're not paying for it. And Cody was like, I don't have money, first of all. Second of all, I didn't break your shit that you left in the living room.
That we told you to move.
He's like, I can't help you. He's like, both of us were just like, listen, like, I get it. You're upset. That's fine. It's an expensive piece of equipment that is now damaged.
That shouldn't have been out in the open where we like put food and like people and crap.
Yeah, it's like, he's just like, and I was just like, that was like one of the first points in my life where I remember just like being like, okay, like I need to like put my foot down here because I'm very much like the kind of like, I just don't want to like, I'm just going to ignore the problem and let other people deal with it. But like, I was just like, absolutely not. There's a 0% chance that's happening. It was not our faults. You need to figure it out on your own. The next day, so S is back. He's in the dorm. Other guy's fucking fuming. He like won't even come over. He's like, he's moved his stuff by this point because it's damaged. He's moved it back into his room or whatever.
Yeah, nice, real big work it was. Yeah, I can only imagine. It must have been such a pain in the ass while it was still working, but it's not while it's broken.
We fucking show up. We hear a knock at our door. It is a police officer.
Did he call the fucking police?
Oh, yeah. No. This is great, though. He called the cops. And the cops come in. And he's like, we heard there was a dispute. There's some sort of, like, issue over damaged property.
Okay.
And S answered the door. And he's like, I guess. And so he's like, okay, cool. Well, like, let's talk about, like, what happened. And at this point, Shitty Kyle comes out. And S and Shitty Kyle are the ones who was. I was at class. I did not see any of this happen. It was informed later by Cody. I think Cody was aware, but maybe it was Dave. I don't know why Dave would have been there at that time, but it doesn't matter. The two of them explained their side of the story.
Yes.
Shitty Kyle explains his side of the story. S explains his side of the story. The cop says, okay, so what do you want us to do about it? And the guy is like, and Shitty Kyle is like, well, I want us to figure out who was responsible for it, and I want them to pay the damages for it. The cop laughed in his face. Like, just like, bull belly laugh, and he's just like, dude, you left your monitor next to a table corner. If someone, like, bumped into the table from across, it was like a 4-foot table. If someone bumped into the other side of the table, it would push the angled edge of the table into your fucking disk drive. That's on you, boo-boo. And the cop left. And that was it. And he never got paid for it. And he never came back to the dorm. And I found out on graduation day that the entire time that Shitty Kyle was living there, S was pissing in his shampoo every night.
Yeah!
And so karmic retribution was finally achieved. Mwah! It was beautiful. And that's my best roommate story. If you're listening, you're an abhorrent piece of shit and you deserve everything bad that happened to you.
There are good cops.
I guess.
Just that one.
Just that one guy. He was campus PD. I don't think he had a weapon, so he gets a pass.
I wish he had.
I really don't.
Just in this one situation.
Maybe.
I wish there was like this one. I'm getting too violent. Sorry. I wish there was just the one day where they're like, we're gonna trial period this gun, and then he killed somebody.
We're gonna shoot
and
this.
then it was gone.
We're
They're
gonna
like,
shoot
no.
this rich white kid instead. Oh yeah, no, this kid was like straight up like he's like, oh, I can't put my I have a lot of trouble getting my computer to fit in my room and opening my door because it gets in the way of my golf clubs. He was that kid.
Oh
like,
my God.
but anyway,
Get
yeah.
your daddy to pay for it, you little white bitch.
Yeah, garbage. Yeah, he was. That's my roommate story. So we all have a good one. Yeah. So anyway, thank you for sticking into our lovely Reddit Am I the Asshole adventure that turned into shitty roommate stories.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish I had more shitty roommate stories. I feel like we can make a whole fucking podcast out of
Just
that.
think them up. We'll make it our next communal one after the ones we have planned.
If you guys have some really good roommate stories that you want to share with us, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you have some of your own favorite posts from Am I the Asshole? Or any other Reddit site where people went on looking for validation and were actually a glamoring piece of shit.
Or any stories if you want to know if you're the asshole or not in.
Oh yeah, if you want us to analyze your poor or good decision making, please send those in the comments. We'd be happy to analyze them, and maybe we could make a fun little. Maybe we could do we could find like bad roommates Reddit or something.
Yeah.
And do,
Oh, I know they have that.
Oh, you know what? We might have just spoiled a future video, but I'm kind of into it. I feel like this is fun. So thanks for listening to us. Thanks for sticking in as always.
And before we go, we're gonna probably.
Oh my God, that's right. We have to tease our next video.
Yeah, next video is mine before the group one.
Yeah. Keep it vague.
I know. I'm trying to think of a way to make it vague because it's a pretty broad topic.
Yeah, because you said it was something out there, so I didn't want to.
It's because it's the first one I'm doing that's not horror.
Ooh. Okay. I don't want to guess it, but what's a vague hint you can give us?
It's gonna be kind of a romance involved.
Oh.
Well, not necessarily, but that's gonna be the hint. It's kind of like relationship, broad spectrum involved.
That's kind of fancy. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, stay tuned for that next week. Thank you all for listening. We hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And okay, we love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.